Ron's just an amazing dude. I mean, professionally speaking, you know, we'd worked together kind of a little bit, but never really directly, and I've known him on and off for a little while now, but he and the team of boys, they're a fantastic team. They work really hard, and they're all really gifted. And I'm not just saying that, I mean, you know, I've worked with a lot of stunt people, and some of them aren't that gifted. It's weird, it just happens, like it does in all industries, you know.
I have guys, we designate each fight scene, designate my guys to be a certain character, I'll choreograph it, and then once everyone feels comfortable, we'll shoot it in the angles that I think that are appropriate, and then we edit it together with temporary sound effects and all that stuff, and then we give it to the directing and producing team. And
then I come in and they teach me the beats, and if there's an odd beat that doesn't work right for me, you know, because I'm different height to them, I've got boobs, they don't, I'm this, that, you know, whatever. Then we kind of modify it to fit me specifically.
Stunts, especially these complicated routines, these stunt segments, is very difficult on a show of this size. Not just for safety reasons and insurance reasons, but for time, you know, just logistics, doubling, just so many issues. Zoe met with Ron and they started working through it. They had 2 weeks of rehearsals to choreograph everything, and Ron, you know, brought his A game to the table. I mean, it's certainly a cut rate for him, and being able to work with Zoe was great, and also just doing us a favor. So he brought a lot to the table for us and really knocked it out of the park.
It's really interesting working with a stunt coordinator like Ron, who knows exactly what he wants, but he's also willing to ask us specifically what the scene is about before we get there. And I think Ron puts it best, because we talk about the stylized shots, the dramatic shots, and the cool shots. And I guess I get the stylized shots, and Paul gets the dramatic shots, and then Ron gets the cool shots, because I'll set up the wide or the composition that Paul and I have talked about, referencing our graphic novels or whatever material or aesthetic we've talked about, and then Paul comes in and says, okay, but I need to get this piece that's all dramatic, and then Ron comes in and gets the sweet shot of the night flying by the lens.
And then on set, as a stunt coordinator, he's basically, and I mean, we only had one unit, obviously, but he would sort of function as the second unit director, so there's a very tight communication between him and Paul about, obviously Paul's got a visual of what he wants. Ron's action guy is like, oh, that's what always happens, we miss this detail and we need that detail, and Paul goes, good point, I like it, or tough, it doesn't work with, you know, and so they have that working relationship. And I think what worked really well is, I mean, Paul and I just work like a dream, and Ron and I was just like, I look forward to working with him again as well, and he wants, you know, it's sort of, it's that same thing. It was just that everybody on the show was really passionate about what they wanted to do, and it made a big difference.
Basically, Zoe's character comes to find this guy. He's kind of like a heavy type of guy. It's the first big one-on-one fight, because in the film, earlier in the film, she's kicking everybody's butt, and now this is kind of more the gritty, you know, raw bones fight.
Ron is unbelievable. As I said, I'm a black belt, but I'm a complete white belt when it comes to movie fighting. And I learned that the hard way the first day. 2 hours of, you know, I didn't know. Now I know. And I have a great deal of respect for what those guys do. And Ron in particular, he's been my teacher. And in a very short period of time has brought me up to speed to be able to do this stuff. So
we had to work with him, rehearse with him, go over the basics, the picture punching and the reactions, and he's been a trooper. I mean, he's given us, you know, just full force effort and hitting the ground, doing stuff. And it's a matter of, you know, making it seem like it's full speed and all the energy's going and you know, without being unsafe. So when we get in there with him and Zoe, that they can have a synergy, but everything is still safe and choreographed, but it doesn't look choreographed.
The bathroom scene for me was sort of, even in rehearsals, when Ron and Mike and I and all us guys were working it out, we were like, guys, this is gonna be good. You know, like, it just felt gritty and rough, and, you know, she's getting her ass whooped as well as he is. There's no, like, there's just two people battling it out in a really uncomfortable situation, because tile and concrete walls are not, I can tell you firsthand, they're really not that comfortable to fall on or do any of that stuff. But, so, and when we were shooting, you know, it was a long day and we had a lot to get through. I mean, you know, this budget is not, you know, friendly to big action stuff. And I mean, I'm shocked at how much we all achieved with the time and the budget that we have. I'm so proud of everybody, but the bathroom scene was, I mean, we were pushing it right to when we had to wrap, and we had to get this done, and we had to get that done, and we had to, but everyone just rallied, and the fight was, I mean, it was great. He went for it, I went for it. There was no, because it's one of those things, it was like, listen, you guys, we've got half an hour. You need to really throw me against that wall. You need to really drop me on you need to forget that I'm a woman for a minute. And if you don't go all out the first 1 or 2 times, the truth is we're just gonna have to do it 5 or 6 times, and I'm gonna be way more damaged. We're both gonna be way more damaged after 6 times than if we just do it full on the first 2 takes or whatever. It's an old trick I learned being a stunt woman for 12 years, but and everyone delivered, and I just watched some of it, and it looks really satisfying.
One, action!
Okay, right now we're filming Eve's character, basically runs and bulldogs one of the bad guys out a window 3-4 stories up, and they both come falling down on top of the roof of the car, which kills the bad guy, and Eve walks away. Banged up, but she walks away, and that's what we're rehearsing right now. We're trying to get the body positions right with all the wires and stuff.
So I feel like when we're falling, he's going to be sort of wrapped around me, right? I mean, not necessarily like holding me and stroking my hair.
It could be like this.
Like this?
Yeah.
No, but for reals. Because I'm driving him, I drove him out the window and I'm driving him down, so it's sort of like...
So yeah, he could be kind of like this, and then as you're coming down...
As we land, boom, the shit opens up, yeah. But we're going to do an impact as well with us, right? We're going to do an impact with us as well, right?
Maybe.
Or don't say maybe, what does that mean?
Maybe. No.
No?
Not at all.
No.
What the fuck? Sorry, that's probably slightly inappropriate timing. This production is going smoothly as always.
Anything loose?
In the story, when she gets to this point in the movie, it's sort of a, you know, because we ummed and ahed about whether she would, you know, just commit suicide at that point. And you know, and our argument ended up being quite clearly like, she's really got nowhere else to go. She's hedging her bets that she'll at least survive, that he won't survive being her crash mat, but she'll at least survive even if she has to crawl home. She's at that point where she's like, I'm all out. I'm all out of places to go and things to do. And so she's physically exhausted at that point. And I mean, it's a big deal story-wise, but it was a big deal to shoot it. You know, it's like we had a massive crane, and Ron and all the team were there from first thing in the morning while we were shooting other stuff, and it was a big setup, and it had to be at night time. And you know, we've got 2 people in the rig, and then we've got the cameramans in a rig who loved it, by the way, and did a fantastic job. So we've got 3 people hanging however many feet up in the air we are, and you know, so there's just a lot of stuff going on. We don't have a lot of time, we don't have a lot of money, but we're doing stuff that usually requires a lot of time and a lot of money, and we had a lot of fun doing that. I can't wait to see that actually finished and completed.